Broadcasting live from the Meridics via OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we welcome you to our final night of GNASH broadcasting in the year of 2022. The final night of play has arrived. Going to break for 3 weeks after this and return on January the 4th. But yeah, the season is flying by, and here we are at the last night of play before the holiday break. Tonight we are bringing you Ravenwood taking on Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. And of course, these two teams played each other in the Preds Cup final last season. Ravenwood got the better of Mount Juliet. This is the second regular season meeting between the two teams. Ravenwood won back on November the 7th. Mount Juliet trying to get revenge tonight. On Monday, they beat NBA 5-2 to avenge a 2-0 loss to the Big Red back on November 9th. So are they going to be able to keep up this revenge tour and keep themselves in the GNASH Cup fight? Because that could come to an end tonight if things don't go their way. We'll explain more in a moment. But first, let's jump into our usual pregame routine that's going over the results of Monday night's games. Everybody but Ravenwood and Brentwood played on Monday night. On Monday, as I mentioned, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon beat Montgomery Bell 5-2. Centennial beat Independence 3-2 in what was the third meeting so far this season between the Eagles and the Cougars. So the Cougars win the regular season series 2-1. The Eagles won the first game in Phase 1 that knocked Centennial into the Phase 2 round robin. Then Centennial, with their fate already sealed, closed the round robin with a 7-2 win over Indy. And then this past Monday night, they beat Indy 3-2 in Phase 3. Centennial, this was a game I thought was happening a little too early in Phase 3. I think it should have happened next month because it was very likely a game between the two teams that were probably the co-favorites to be the one seed for the Henry Hine Cup. I think Centennial are probably good from here. The only team I could see maybe threatening them is the Outlaws. That's it. Anyway, Summit Page beat USNBA Nashville Christian 3-2, while Pope Prep CPA GCA, they started Phase 3 with two losses, back-to-back losses last week to Mount Juliet and Brentwood. Man, they bounced back from that in a big way Monday night. They whipped Rutherford Rampage 10-2. Franklin BGA collecting just their second win of the season, beating Father Ryan 7-2. The Outlaws completing a regular season sweep of Station Camp Liberty Creek, winning that one 8-4. And Nolensville-Ensworth-Lipscomb beat Hendersonville Beach 9-3. I wonder if, was that a regular season sweep? Let me just jump in to Nolensville's results real quick. Yeah, Nolensville regular season sweep of Hendersonville. Beat them 9-5 on October 24th and Monday night 9-3. So, wow, they outscored Hendersonville 18-8 in their two regular season meetings. Yeesh. All right, let's jump into the standings for Phase 3 so far. Tier 1, Brentwood leading at 2-0. Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 2-1. Ravenwood 1-0. Franklin BGA 1-1. Pope Prep CPA GCA and Father Ryan both 1-2. And at the bottom of Tier 1 are MBA with Rutherford. Both of them have one win and one tie after two games played. MBA, however, are done until January 4th. That's the next time they'll take the ice when they play Father Ryan. Rutherford playing their pre-Christmas finale tonight against Brentwood. Tier 2, Centennial and the Outlaws both at 2-0. Nolensville-Ensworth-Lipscomb, one win and one tie. Summit Page have a one in each column. One win, one loss, one tie. USNBA Nashville Christian 1-1. Hendersonville Beach 1-2. Independence 0-2. Station Camp Liberty Creek are also 0-2. Here are the GNASH Cup standings coming into tonight. Again, the 6 teams that did not have to take part in Phase 2, in the Phase 2 round robin from Tier 1, still eligible for the GNASH Cup, and their records from Phase 1 and Phase 3 being combined to see who will win the regular season championship. Brentwood leading at 7-1-1, Ravenwood at 7-1, Montgomery Bell 6-2-1, Pope Prep CPA GCA 5-4-1, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 4-5-1, Franklin BGA 2-5-2. If Franklin had not won that game, against Father Ryan on Monday night. If they lost to Father Ryan, if the game had ended in a tie, they would have been knocked out of the GNASH Cup race. However, they could be knocked out tonight. I'll explain more in a bit. The games for tonight, the final night of games for GNASH in the 2022 calendar year. Although next week, nothing but practices, although that might be an opening for games in case you need to have them, but I don't anticipate any games being rescheduled next week. Coming up in just a few minutes here on Rink 8 at Centennial, Ravenwood taking on Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon. 8 o'clock over in Bellevue on Rink 2, Station Camp Liberty Creek taking on Hendersonville Beach. 8:30 over on Rink 8 here at Centennial, Brentwood taking on Rutherford. And at 8:40 here on Rink 8 at Centennial, USNBA Nashville Christian taking on Independence. All right, let's talk about the two teams playing this game that we're doing tonight. First up, Ravenwood, coached by Mike Driscoll. 7-1 overall, 1-0 in Phase 3. 7-1 in the GNASH Cup standings. Let's look at the results of their last 5 games coming into tonight. Their last 5 games dating back to October 24th when they beat Pope Prep CPA GCA 5-0, but then came a bad night on Halloween against Brentwood, a 6-2 loss to the Bruins. November 7th, they beat Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon 4-2, and then closed Phase 1 with a 4-0 win over MBA on November the 14th. And then a week ago, Monday, November the 28th, started Phase 3 with a 3-2 squeaker over Father Ryan. So just barely beating the Fighting Irish in that one. Here are the Raptors stats coming into tonight's game. Liam Powell is the team's leading scorer. Again, these are their stats combined for both Phase 1 and
Hey, just to let you know, Robbie Simonek is starting goalie. He didn't have his jersey, so he's wearing someone else's jersey. Robbie Simonek is starting goal.
Okay, being told Robbie Simonek starting in goal tonight, but he's having to wear Brant Balls' black sweater. Mount Juliet, the home team tonight, they're wearing white, but he's having to borrow Brant Balls' black away sweater. Anyway, back to the Ravenwood stats again. These are the combined stats for both Phase 1 and Phase 3. Liam Powell, the team's leading scorer, he has 16 points from 7 goals and 9 assists. Zach Egley, 13 points from 9 goals and 4 assists. Gavin Hussey, 13 points from 8 goals and 5 assists. Jake Farrell, 9 points from 6 goals and 3 assists. Luke Powell and Jack Reddy each have 6 points from 3 goals and 3 assists. Will Gallagher and Sutton Kornblum each have 6 points from a goal and 5 assists. Cohen Landcamer and Luke Schenkel each have 5 points from assists. Jake Lipinski has 4 points from a goal and 3 assists. Zeke Landcamer has 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Lucas Brady and Owen Gilroy each have 2 points from goals. Owen Appel is the only Ravenwood skater without a point so far this season. On to goalie play. Both of Ravenwood's goalies have played the same number of games. Ryan Farrell has played in 4 games. Ravenwood won him also. His record 4-0. He's played 168 minutes. Goals against average of 1 even. 2 shutouts. He's allowed 4 goals and 83 shots, turned away the other 79. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .950. Luka Wanek has played in 4 games. His record 3-1. He's also played 168 minutes. Goals against average of 2.75. 1 shutout. He's allowed 11 goals on 95 shots, turned away the other 84. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .880. On to Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon, coached by Ray Balls. 2-1 in Phase 3 so far. 4-5-1 coming into tonight as we go over the results of their last 5 games. Last 5 games dating back to November 7th. Oh, correction, I hit NBA by mistake, sorry. Gonna have to change pages here. Here we go. Last 5 games dating back to November 7th when they lost to Ravenwood 4-2. They closed out Phase 1 with a 2-0 loss to MBA on November the 9th. And opened Phase 3 November 28th with a 3-2 win over Pope Prep CPA GCA. Last Wednesday they lost to Father Ryan 4-2. And then on Monday beat MBA 5-2. So here are their regular season stats coming into tonight. Braylon Cox is the team's leading scorer. He has 11 points from 7 goals and 4 assists. Jordan Antar, 10 points from 8 goals and 2 assists. Wes Ray, 9 points from 3 goals and 6 assists. Ryan Wood, 7 points from 4 goals and 3 assists. Blake Bristow, 6 points from 3 goals and 3 assists. Blake Bristow serving the last of a 3-game suspension tonight. Anthony Giampaolo has 5 points from 2 goals and 3 assists. Kyle Alsaker has 3 points off from goals. He's serving the second of a 3-game suspension tonight. Kyle Alsaker is. Parker Triplett and Tyler Dubois each with 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Cullen McDermott, 2 points from goals. Bobby Camos with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Jackson Blevins and Nealon Head each with a point from a goal. And Presley Denton has a point from an assist. On to goalie play. Robbie Simonek has played in 5 games. His record is 1-5. For some reason, he played in goal against Pope Prep last week. For some reason, Mount Juliet won that game, but for some reason, the GNASH website has given him the loss, and Anthony Pellegrino, who played that game in net for Pope, the win, but that's not correct. So Robbie Simonek's record is 1-4. He's played 209 minutes, goals against average of 2.81. No shutouts. He's allowed 14 goals on 150 shots, turned away the other 136. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .910. Corbin Vickery has played in 4 games. His record 3-0-1, 3 wins and a tie. He's played just over 148.5 minutes, goals against average of 2.26. No shutouts. He's allowed 8 goals on 89 shots, turned away the other 81. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .910. And Brent Balls has played in 2 games. His record 0-1. He's played just over 61 minutes, goals against average of 6.86. He's allowed 10 goals and 51 shots, turned away the other 41. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .800. As Brent Balls goes to the net for Mount Juliet. So if Mount Juliet, hold on, let me pull that up real quick. If Mount Juliet lose and Brentwood win or tie with Rutherford, Mount Juliet will be knocked out of the GNASH Cup race. If Mount Juliet tie with Ravenwood and Brentwood beat Rutherford, they'll also be knocked out of the GNASH Cup race. So Mount Juliet got to win this one tonight to stay alive in the GNASH Cup fight. And if a Brentwood win over Rutherford would also knock Franklin out. So the field of remaining GNASH Cup contenders tonight could be down from 6 to 4 with the holiday break right upon us. As the game is underway, I'm not sure who's in goal for Ravenwood just yet, but here comes Liam Powell into the Mount Juliet zone. On the left wing side, passing across, and Sutton Kornblum taps the puck to the right wing corner. And there was a hit in the right wing corner that's drawn a whistle and a penalty. Roughing call against Easton Krensky. It's Ryan Farrell in goal tonight for Ravenwood. So Ravenwood getting the first power play of the game just 27 seconds in. 13:33 to go in the first. And obviously no score because that was the first stoppage of play. Mount Juliet are carrying the puck from my left to right for this first period, and Ravenwood from my right to left. Draw is going to be to the left of Brent Balls. I'm sorry, it's Robbie Simonek in goal. Correction, Robbie Simonek's in goal. So he's wearing Brent Balls' white sweater as they score. Gavin Hussey scores. Robbie Simonek made a save, and Gavin Hussey bangs in the rebound, standing in the right-hand post. And it took just 10 seconds for Ravenwood to convert that power play and go up 1-0. 13:24 to go in the first. Yeah, it's Robbie Simonek in goal, wearing Brent Balls' white sweater. Brent Balls wearing his black sweater on the bench. As here come Ravenwood again off the draw. Gavin Hussey's shot blocked by Ryan Woods. Puck taken back. Owen Gilroy tried to get to the net, but Woods takes it off him. And Anthony Giampaolo clears. Puck brought back into the Mount Juliet zone. It's in the right wing corner. Tyler Dubois. Now Wes Ray trying to clear, but held into the right wing boards by Owen Gilroy. Gilroy coming out to the slot. A shot off the stick of Giampaolo. Ryan Woods will carry the puck out. He's at center. Into the Ravenwood zone, but got bumped off by Luke Schenkel. And the puck put out in front, went off his stick and goes into the glove of Ryan Farrell. And he hangs on for the whistle. 12:31 to go in the first. 1-0 Ravenwood. The scoreboard above the concession stand is not on. The one to my left on the wall above the net that Robbie Simonek is defending is working. So I'm going to have to keep turning my head to the left for the rest of this game to check the time as the puck is back in the Ravenwood zone. Hopefully they'll fix that during the holiday break. Here comes Luke Powell racing into the Mount Juliet zone. Shot over the net from the high slot. Colin McDermott with a puck now. Passes over to Nealon Head. Brings it back into the Ravenwood zone. Tried to put the puck out in front that was intercepted. There's McDermott again behind the net. Pushed off the puck and now back the other way. Come Ravenwood. Puck poked off the stick of Zach Egley. Pushed into the Mount Juliet zone by Will Gallagher. Jackson Blevins with it now for Mount Juliet. And now Cohen Landcamer with it. Passes ahead. Brought back into the Mount Juliet zone and shot past the net by Luke Powell. Puck out at center. Jake Farrell with it. Puck poked back into the Ravenwood zone. Braylon Cox's shot. Turned away, I think, by Ryan Farrell. He had Jordan Antar going down the slot towards the net. Now here come Ravenwood again. Puck knocked off the stick of Liam Powell. Now Jake Lipinski on the left wing side trying to backhand it towards the net. And it would have hit off the outside of the net, but Robbie Simonek covers to get the whistle. 10:53 to go in the first. 1-0 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonek. Well, Ravenwood won it, but it was intercepted and carried out by Jordan Antar when the puck was dropped back. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods across to Parker Triplett, who deflects it out to center. Going to be brought back into the Mount Juliet zone by the Bears. Or sorry, by the Raptors. Puck is behind the net. Liam Powell out to the slot. His shot broken up by the stick of Braylon Cox. And another shot from in tight. Stopped and covered up by Simonek. That was Owen Appel. No correction. It was Jake Lipinski getting off that shot. Draw is to the left of Simonek. Won by Ravenwood. Luke Schenkel, right point. Tried to pass down the wall. Had a bit of trouble with it. Puck coming towards the front of the net. And Simonek has to cover it as it ends up in the crease. He tried to poke it away. Kind of skipped off his stick. Landed right in front of him. He had to cover. 10-12 to go in the first. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the left of Simonek. Won by Ravenwood and a one-timer into the chest of Simonek, and he drops it in the glove. That's Schenkel with a shot. Draw going to be to Simonek's left again. Won by Ravenwood. Sutton Kornblum down the left wing, below the goal line. Carson Slocum pushes him into the boards. Easton Krinsky takes a bump. Puck out in front. Owen Gilroy whiffed on it from right in front of the net, allowing Anthony Giampaolo to clear it. Icing was waved off as a couple of Ravenwood players caught up to it right near the Ravenwood net. Puck brought out to center, but then taken back. Wes Ray, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone, gets bumped off it. Puck comes to the net, and Ryan Farrell decides to cover. 9:29 to go in the first. 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the left of Farrell. One by Mount Juliet and a shot from Ryan Woods blocked. Puck comes back up top to Woods. His shot deflected off the stick of Zach Egley and past the net. Back up top, Woods, right point. His shot hit the left skate of his own teammate, Cullen McDermott. And now back the other way come the Raptors. Egley, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Knocked down by Ryan Woods in the left wing corner. Woods trying to clear it out. Held in at the left point by Owen Appel. Zach Egley takes a bump. Puck in the slot. Egley trying to catch up to it in the right circle. Nealon Head with it. He'll clear. Went past Zeke Landcamer as it went down ice. Icing waved off against Mount Juliet. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone. The Raptors controlling. Stretch pass to center, intercepted by Tyler Dubois and sent back into the Ravenwood zone. Cleared out by the Raptors. Nealon Head trying to take it off of a Ravenwood player, but it's brought back into the Mount Juliet zone. Flicked to the inboards by Jake Farrell. Easton Krensky with it now for the Bears. He'll carry it out. Nudges it ahead. Braylon Cox try to get it back to Krensky in the Ravenwood slot. He got knocked down. Now puck passed ahead. Liam Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone with a shot, score! Liam Powell rifles it into the top corner on the left-hand side of the net to make it 2-0 Raptors with 8:01 to go in the first. Draw one by Ravenwood. Gavin Hussey with the first goal of the game, trying to drop it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Sent into the Ravenwood end by Ryan Woods. Puck picked up by the Raptors. He's out at center. Braylon Cox trying to get it back into the Ravenwood zone. Jordan Antar backhanding it back deep in the Ravenwood end. Raptors trying to work it out. Luke Powell flipping it through the air and out to center. Almost played with a high stick by Anthony Giampaolo. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone, picked up by Luke Powell. Powell passing across. Now another cross-ice pass attempt knocked down by the stick of Giampaolo, but it's still out at center. Wes Ray, nope, had the puck poked away from him. Owen Gilroy backhanding it back into the Mount Juliet end, but he was behind the red line, so icing called against the Raptors. 6:51 to go in the first, still 2-0 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the left of Ryan Farrell. Draw is won by the Raptors. Puck in the left wing corner, now behind the net. Anthony Giampaolo trying to get it out in front, but it is intercepted and carried out by the Raptors. Puck brought back into the Mount Juliet zone, left behind though by Jack Reddy. And the puck ends up being flicked into the netting of, actually no, it's in the glove of Robbie Simonek, okay. Thought it went out of play, but went off his stick into his glove. Draw is going to be to Simonek's left. Puck comes towards the net, and Simonek stops and covers. Draw is going to be to Simonek's left. Once again, won by Ravenwood. Shot stopped by Simonek, rebound, score, Jake Farrell. Simonek made the save on the shot from the blue line. I'm not sure who that was. If that was Owen Appel in the initial shot, he gets the assist. And that's his first point of the year. But Farrell was right in front to backhand the rebound home and make it 3-0 Ravenwood with 6:20 to go in the first. So if Owen Appel gets an assist on that, that means every Ravenwood skater this season will have a point. Draw one by Ravenwood. Puck brought back into the Mount Juliet zone. Zach Egley, left wing corner. Fires it across the front of the net. Held in at the right point by Luke Schenkel. Schenkel had it poked off his stick. Nice play by Nealon Head. Carries it back into the Ravenwood zone. Left wing side. A shot turned away by Farrell with a right leg pad. Puck held in at the left point. Easton Krensky firing it past the net to put it in space for Jackson Blevins on the right wing side. And they score! Oh, it's waved off. Played with a high stick. Mount Juliet with a goal waved off by a high stick. Since it was an intentional high stick, the draw is going to be in the Mount Juliet zone to the right of Simonik. Won by Mount Juliet. Held into the left point, and Luke Powell ends up shooting it into the Mount Juliet bench. Oh, it landed in the trash can inside the bench. I don't think you want that puck back. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Mount Juliet bench. 5:40 to go in the first. 3-0 Ravenwood leading. Mount Juliet with a puck off the draw, but they turn it over to the Raptors. Owen Gilroy in the Mount Juliet zone. A shot blocked away by Simonik. Here's Gavin Hussey. Hussey passing to the left wing corner. Now back out in front. Hussey, a shot. Missed the net to the right of Simonik. Maybe he got a piece of it with the right leg pad. Now here's Hussey behind the net. Try to pass it out in front. That was broken up. Zeke Landcamer sending it back down the wall on the right wing side. Picked up by Ryan Woods. He tries to fire it around. Turns the puck over. Held in at the left point, Luke Powell. Powell now moving down the slot. A shot blocked away by Simonik. Puck held in again at the left point. Slap shot deflected over the net by the stick of Hussey. Initial shot coming from Gilroy at the blue line. Parker Triplett out at center, passing off to Braylon Cox. Cox, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Whiffed on a shot attempt. Has to carry the puck down low, but it's jabbed away from him. Back up the boards and out. Easton Krensky inside his own zone. Passing ahead to Cox, who deflects it back into the Ravenwood end. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end. Easton Krensky with it. He's going to carry it out. Back in the Ravenwood zone, his shot takes a block, or was blocked, and goes over to the right wing boards. Puck at the right point. Carson Slocum battling away. Wes Ray in that as well, but the Raptors come up with it. Oh, but leaving it behind was Liam Powell. Brought out, though, by the Raptors eventually. Powell sweeps it into the Mount Juliet zone. Puck on the near boards. Jake Farrell behind the net. Out on the right wing side. Trying to chip it down the wall. Wes Ray passing ahead to Bobby Campbell, who tries to clear. Held in at the right point. And Krensky's going to clear it out. Luke Schenkel passing across. And here come Ravenwood back into the Mount Juliet zone. Liam Powell can't get past Easton Krensky. Nice D by Krensky, who's going to end up icing the puck. 3:05 to go in the first. Still 3-0 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the left of Simonik. One by Mount Juliet. They try and clear. Held in at the right point. A shot knocked down by Simonik. He jumped up to knock it down. That shot coming from Owen Gilroy at the right point. Puck carried to center, but taken back by the Raptors. Brought back into the Mount Juliet zone left wing side. Zach Egley to the slot. A shot missed the net to the right of Simonik. Puck still in the zone. Carried around the back of the net by Sutton Kornblum. Now, with a puck over on the far side and dropping it down to the left wing or right wing corner was Cohen Landcamer. Zach Egley sending it past the net from the right circle. We're gonna have a penalty coming up against who? Looks like Ravenwood. A tripping call. It's Will Gallagher who's going to go into the box for the Raptors. So Mount Juliet get their first power play of the game, trailing 3-0 with 2:15 to go in the first. Draws to Ryan Farrell's left. One by Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky right point. Moving along the blue line, taking a shot. Kicked away by Farrell with a left leg pad. Raptors trying to clear the puck out. And it just went over the blue line. Krensky brought it back in offside. That took up the first 12 seconds of the power play. Draw going to be in front of the Ravenwood bench at center. One by Ravenwood. Jordan Antar with a puck from Mount Juliet, passing it over to Braylon Cox, and now Easton Krensky getting it deep. Back to Cox on the right half wall from Antar. Cox's shot missed the net to the right of Farrell. Ryan Woods with it now, trying to put it out in front. Jordan Antar's shot stopped by Farrell with a left leg pad. Here go Ravenwood. Well, stretch pass misses the stick of Gavin Hussey. Correction, it was Jack Reddy. Ravenwood going to bring the puck out of their zone again. 1 minute left in the Mount Juliet power play. Oh, Easton Krensky with a nice hit on Liam Powell as he tried to maneuver around him and go to the front of the net. Krensky back in the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Trying to put the puck in front. Farrell went to cover. It got away from him. Braylon Cox now passing out to the left point, and Carson Slogamo fumbled the puck. Almost had it stripped by Liam Powell, who would have been off to the races if he'd gotten a hold of it. There's going to be another penalty coming up, though, against the Raptors. A cross-checking call against Liam Powell. So Mount Juliet will have a 32-second 5-on-3, 48.4 seconds to go. In the first, they're trailing 3-0. Draw is going to be to the right of Ryan Farrell. No, it's Owen Appel sitting in the box for Ravenwood. Drawn by Ravenwood, they clear it down ice. And there are now 20 seconds left in the 5-on-3 for Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky passing ahead to Jordan Antar, who sends the puck back into the Ravenwood zone, but the Raptors able to clear with only 3 men on the ice. Oh, and Liam Powell almost took the puck away from Krensky at center right of the Mount Juliet blue line. He would have been off to the races. Krensky brings it back in the Ravenwood zone, gets off a shot that's stopped and covered up by Farrell. Ryan Farrell. 3 seconds left in the 5-on-3, 19 seconds to go in the first, still 3-0 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to Ryan Farrell's left. Puck comes out in front of the Ravenwood net, knocked away by Farrell. The first penalty against the Raptors is off. Juliet now on the power play, or have a 5-on-4 for 99 more seconds. Here come the Raptors. Luke Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet. So gets up a shot that goes across the front of the net, and that is it for the first period. 72 seconds of power play time will carry over to the second for the Bears. But Ravenwood, what a first period for them. Goals from Gavin Hussey, Liam Powell, and Jake Farrell. Raptors with a 3-0 lead over Mount Juliet at the end of one. For Mount Juliet, this is the fourth of 4 games in this 2-week stretch. They have 3 left in the regular season. Their next game is January the 9th against Rutherford. Then they'll play Brentwood January the 11th, 2 nights later, and then they will close the regular season January 25th against Franklin BGA. Ravenwood, they will not play again until January 4th when they take on Pope Prep CPA GCA. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood. Robbie Simonek still in goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon. For the second period, Ravenwood will carry the puck from my left to right, Mount Juliet from my right to left. Again, 72 seconds of power play time, carrying over to the middle frame for the Bears. They won the draw, but turned it over to Ravenwood. Here's Jack Reddy shooting from the right circle, and it missed the net. Under a minute left in the 5-on-4 for Mount Juliet. Sutton Kornblum brings the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Now here's Braylon Cox with it behind his own net. Steps out to the left. Passes ahead Jordan Antar. Antar, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Trying to backhand it to the front of the net. Now he's behind the net with it. Oh, tried to backhand it in front, but he hit the back bar on the back of the net. So here come the Raptors. Oh, the scoreboard above the concession stand is operational. That's good. 20 seconds left to the 5-on-4 for Mount Juliet. As Ravenwood bring the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. Shot from Jack Reddy was deflected past the net. Stretch pass deflected into the Ravenwood bench by Zeke Landkammer, keeping it away from Neelan Head. 3 seconds left in the 5-on-4. 12:51 to go in the second. 3-0 Ravenwood leading. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Ravenwood bench. Tie up for the puck off the draw. Penalty time against the Raptors is up. They're back at even strength. Here is Luke Powell passing the puck up the far wall. Carson Slocum with a shot from the right point of the Ravenwood zone, gloved and held onto by Ryan Farrell. Draw is going to be to the left of Farrell. One by Ravenwood. Zach Egley gets it out. Bobby Camo sending it back towards the Ravenwood blue line, where it is picked up and carried the other way by Luke Powell. Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, trying to cut to the front of the net. He goes around the back of the net. Puts it out in front. Zach Egley's shot stopped by Robbie Simonek. He's got it covered. Draws to Simonek's left. Won by Mount Juliet. Ravenwood with it, though. Puck out in front of the Mount Juliet net. And they score. Liam Powell able to bang it in a net mouth scramble to get his second goal of the game and make it 4-0 Raptors with 12 minutes to go in the second. Luke Schenkel dumps the puck into the Mount Juliet zone off the draw. Jake Farrell wanted to try a wraparound and sneak up on Robbie Simonek. Was prevented from doing so. Owen Appel sends the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. It's in the left wing corner. Easton Krensky passing it around to Jackson Blevins. Krensky picks it back up, carries it out to center. Krensky passing over to Parker Triplett in the Ravenwood zone, who dumps it deep behind the net. Krensky. Krensky pushing Ravenwood player off the puck. That was Liam Powell. It's the second time he's put the body on Powell in this game. Parker Triplett sending the puck towards the net from the left circle. It was a soft shot. Stopped and covered up by Ryan Farrell. 11:04 to go in the second. 4-0 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the right of Farrell. Here's Tyler Dubois, left wing corner. Tried to put the puck out in front, went off the stick of Ryan Farrell, and Luke Powell caught it in front of the net and flung it behind his back out of play. They blew the whistle on that, though, but that was a clever bit of getting a loose puck out of your zone. It went off Farrell's stick. Luke Powell caught it with his right hand and did a behind-the-back fling to get it out of the zone, but they blew the whistle on it. Draw to the right of Farrell. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Braylon Cox falling over behind the net. And Ravenwood will bring the puck out. Parker Triplett gets it back, sent it back towards the Ravenwood zone. Then it came back to him. But now there's Luke Powell bringing it back into the Mount Juliet zone and putting it to the end boards behind the net. Pass back up top to the right point. Luke Powell, slap shot, missed the net to the right of Robbie Simonek. Puck held in at the left point, passed down the wall. Puck poked free. Here's Ryan Woods. Woods back in the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Lost the puck. Braylon Cox passing it down the wall. Woods put it out in front, but Ryan Farrell knocked it away with his stick before it could get to Jordan Antar. Puck sent across the front of the Ravenwood net. Camos, left wing corner. Bobby Camos has the puck taken away by Powell, who almost lost it back. Sutton Kornblum passing it up the far side. Past Ryan Woods back into the Mount Juliet zone. Taken, I think, by Jack Reddy. Put out in front. No, that's Reddy out in front of the net. I think it's Gavin Hussey working the end boards. Now is Reddy a one-timer? Was that blocked or did it go off of Simonek? They're giving Ravenwood the shot, so it went off of Simonek. Luke Powell shooting from the right point. It's blocked. Here's another shot that ends up behind the net from Zach Egley. Puck out at center. Picked up by Liam Powell. Passed across Cohen Landcamer. Try to go back across to Egley. Ryan Woods is going to end up icing it from just inside his own zone. 9:03 to go in the second. 4-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the right of Robbie Simonek. One by Ravenwood, taken away by the Bears. Wes Ray gives it away to Luke Schenkel, who ends up icing it from in front of his own blue line. Draw is going to be to the left of Ryan Farrell. Puck behind the Ravenwood net off the draw. And then Giampaolo put out in front, but Jake Farrell intercepts and brings it out to center. He's on the left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, trying to pass it in front for Jake Lipinski, but a nice sliding block by Easton Krinsky to break that up. Or nice diving block, I should say. Luke Schenkel passing ahead to Jake Farrell. Now Liam Powell. Try to go across to Jake Lipinski. Lipinski forced off the puck. Now Zeke Landkammer. Passing over to Schenkel, who shanks the one-timer from the center point. Here's a backhander stop by Robbie Simonek, and the Bears are going to end up icing the puck. 8:04 to go in the second. Still 4-0 Ravenwood. Draw is to the right of Robbie Simonek. Won by Ravenwood, but the puck splits the defenders, goes all the way back towards the zone, their own zone. Owen Appel picks it up, passes ahead to Gavin Hussey. Hussey passing across to Jack Reddy. Drops it back in the slot. Owen Gilroy, a shot stopped and held on to by Simonek. Draw going to be to Simonek's left. One by Ravenwood, just held into the blue line by Appel. Pass down the wall. Now Owen Gilroy on the right wing side, trying to move to the front of the net. Gets off a shot, stopped by Simonek. Wanted to cover up the rebound, and then the rebound try shot into him, and he's got it covered. I think that was Gavin Hussey on the follow-up. 7:26 to go in the second, still 4-0. Ravenwood. Draw going to be to the left of Robbie Simonek. And we're going to have a penalty against Ravenwood right off the draw. Calling Robbie Simonek to the bench for the extra attacker. Now Juliet. Well, they waved off icing because a Ravenwood player tried to touch the clearing attempt. Not sure what the penalty was, but the call is against Zach Egley. He took the face-off for Ravenwood. It was Braylon Cox taking it for Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet back in the power play, trailing 4-0 with 7:10 to go here in the second. Draw to the left of Ryan Farrell. And as soon as the puck went down, Cox went down. So it was either a trip or a slash, something in there. Draw one by Ravenwood. Liam Powell putting it behind the net for Sutton Cornblum, who gets pushed into the boards, squeezed into the boards by Parker Triplett. Triplett now out on the right wing side. Passing the puck up to the right point, Easton Krinsky backhands it over. Ryan Woods, top of the left circle, a shot over the net. May have been guided that way by Ryan Farrell. Oh, the puck came out in front. And backhanded into the net by Parker Triplett, but it was dislodged, so they're waving it off. However, Jordan Antar had a glorious chance to put the puck in the back of the net. And are they giving the goal? They're going to give the goal. So a power play goal for Mount Juliet. They're down 4-1 with 6:45 to go in the second. It's Parker Triplett with the goal for the Bears. I think it was Parker Triplett. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone off the draw, so an unusual power play tally there for the Bears. They'll take it any way they can get it. Easton Krensky passing up the far side, misses Braylon Cox. Now here's Krensky firing an on goal from center. Stopped by Ryan Farrell. Luke Schenkel behind the net. Passing it up the far boards and brought out to center. Liam Powell. No, Gavin Hussey, excuse me. Brought back in the Mount Juliet zone and a shot. Stopped and covered up by Simonik from the left wing side. Not sure who that was for Ravenwood. Again, Ravenwood are wearing those black sweaters with the dark charcoal numbers that almost blend into the back. So when they're playing at the net in front of the concession stand, it's kind of hard to see. Draws to the right of Simonik. 6:06 to go in the second, 4-1. Ravenwood lead. They win the draw. Luke Powell shot stopped. No! And the rebound right in front whiffed on by Jake Lipinski with the net open. Puck behind the net. Liam Powell, right wing, tried to put it in front. That was broken up. Luke Powell on the right point passing down. Puck put out in front. Jake Farrell, a shot. Stopped and covered up by Robbie Simonik. 5:32 to go in the second. Still 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the left of Simonik. Anthony Giampaolo chasing the puck through center. Backhanded away from him, and now Jake Farrell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Poked away from him by Ryan Woods. And Woods is going to end up icing the puck as he was trying to pass ahead to Giampaolo out at center. Draw is to the right of Robbie Simonik. Now Juliet trying to get it out. Will Gallagher battling with Jackson Blevins at the left point. Cullen McDermott in there as well. Puck finally knocked loose. And here's Nealon Head chasing it back into the Ravenwood zone on the left wing side. Head try to put it in front. It's out in space. Ryan Woods with it in the left circle. Backhands it in front. Gloved and held on to by Farrell with Jackson Blevins hanging out to the left-hand side of the net. Or at the left-hand side of the net. 4:39 to go in the second. 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to Farrell's right. Ravenwood win the draw. Luke Schenkel behind his own net. Steps out to his right. Carries it through center. Into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Turns, tries to pass off, but he gives it to Nealon Head. Passes across to Jackson Blevins at center. Now Head brings it back in the back in the Ravenwood zone, but it's turned back over to the Raptors. Here is Luke Schenkel. Bringing it back into the Mount Juliet end. Puck taken away from him. Carson Slocum knocked it off his stick, and it ended up in the back of his pants. So that's why we get the whistle. 4:02 to go in the second, still 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to Farrell's left. Simonik's left. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky carrying it to center. Racing into the Ravenwood zone. Right wing side, a shot turned away by Farrell. Kicked it away with a right leg pad. Puck behind the net, Braylon Cox. Trying to put it out in front. Had the puck taken away. Here's Jack Reddy on the left wing boards, getting pushed off the puck by Easton Krensky. Krensky passing it down low. Now back up top. Krensky left point. One-timer off the right leg pad of Farrell. Now Jack Reddy chasing the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. He's got it on the right wing side. Pass in front. Oh, and a shot hit the outside of the net. Stretch pass to Jordan Antar, missed him. With that shot attempt was Gavin Hussey. Icing called against Mount Juliet. 3:10 to go in the second, still 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw going to be to the left of Robbie Simonek. Won by Ravenwood. Puck behind the net. Passed out up top, right point. Owen Appel tried to send it to the front of the net, intercepted and cleared out by the Bears. Bobby Campos now. Now Wes Ray. Puck taken away from him as he crosses the Ravenwood blue line. Jake Farrell trying to chip it up the wall. Puck out at center. Raptors with it. Luke Schenkel. Passing across now Owen Appel. Appel passing it up the far wall. Up, and a Mount Juliet player just fell backwards off the bench. It was Andrew Huffing. I think, did he just arrive? I haven't seen him on the ice tonight. Puck is back in the Ravenwood zone. Yeah, he took a seat and sat back too far and fell. He laughed it off, though. He's sitting back down. Next to, is that Presley Denton? It is Presley Denton. So Presley, those two must have gotten here late because they have not been on the ice at all tonight. Stretch pass deflected back into the Ravenwood zone by a Mount Juliet stick, so icing waved off. Jake Farrell now. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Turns the puck over. Puck cleared back into the Ravenwood end. Zeke Land, camera with it, banks it off the boards. Held in though by Cullen McDermott. He gets pushed down from behind. And Zach Egley takes off with the puck. Egley, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Lost the puck. Ravenwood still with it though. Carried around the back of the net, put out in front. Will Gallagher couldn't get his stick on it though. And now it's going to be iced by the Bears. 62 seconds to go in the second, 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the left of Robbie Simonek. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Minute left in the second. Puck out at center. Sutton Kornblum. Ahead to Zach Egley. Egley had the puck get away from him. He gets it back inside the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. Now Will Gallagher. Oh, there's going to be a penalty against Mount Juliet. Shot stopped. Rebound sent past the net. Cohen Landcamer with the initial shot. I'm not sure of the rebound follow-up just yet. Looked like it was Kornblum. Yeah, it was Kornblum. It's going to be Carson Slocum going to the box. No, it's coincidentals. Roughing against Slocum, and then Egley called for unsportsmanlike. He must have said something after the whistle. So it'll stay 5-on-5, 39.2 seconds to go in the second. Ravenwood up 4-1. Game between Station Camp and Hendersonville should be getting underway by now over at Bellevue. I mentioned during the break between the first and second periods, this is the fourth game in a 2-week stretch for Mount Juliet. Tonight is also the fourth game in a 2-week stretch for Hendersonville. So they'll have 3 games left in the regular season when they come back from the holiday break. Draw to the right of Robbie Simonek. One by Mount Juliet. Jordan Antar passing across. Braylon Cox, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. A shot off the glove of Farrell and bounced just past the net to his left. Puck put out in front. Parker Triplett, right circle shot blocked. Puck held in at the left point, right point by Easton Krensky. Krensky moving towards the front of the net. A shot knocked down by the glove of Farrell. Ravenwood with it. Trying to get it out. Kept alive by Jordan Antar. Now the puck's cleared out. That's going to be it for the second. Each side with a goal here in this second period. Liam Powell getting his second of the game, and Parker Triplett with a power play tally for the Bears. So Ravenwood leading Mount Juliet 4-1 at the end of 2. So again, if this score holds and Brentwood either tie or beat Rutherford, it'll knock Mount Juliet out of the GNASH Cup race. A Brentwood win would also knock Franklin out. So Mount Juliet would go from contender to potential spoiler. Again, they play Brentwood on January the 11th in what will be their penultimate game of the regular season. Their last being January 25th against Franklin. Will there be a repeat of that wild night? That 8-8 tie back on October 3rd where Mount Juliet were down 8-7 but got the game-tying goal with 13 seconds to go. I know Franklin head coach Todd Gross wouldn't like a repeat of that. Ready for the third. Robbie Simonek still in goal for Mount Juliet. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood for this third period. Mount Juliet will carry the puck from my left to right. Ravenwood from my right to left as the Raptors get the puck into the Mount Juliet zone. Gavin Hussey behind the net. Passing it up to the right point. Oh, and going back too far with Zeke Landcamer, and the puck taken away by Anthony Giampaolo. Right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Giampaolo a shot, gloved and held on to by Farrell. With 13:27 to go. 4-1 Ravenwood. Carson Slocum must have gotten a 2 in the 10 because he's still in the box. No, wait, the coincidentals don't expire until, let's see, they were called with 39 seconds left in the period. I guess 12:39 left in the period. That's when the coincidentals should expire, and Zach Egley and Carson Slocum should be released from the penalty boxes as the puck is in the Ravenwood zone. Sutton Kornblum with it for the Raptors. Passing up the near side. It hopped over the stick of Jake Farrell, allowing Ryan Woods to clear it out of the Mount Juliet zone. And Ravenwood get it inside the Mount Juliet zone. Slap shot from Kornblum misses the net to the left of Simonek. Puck out at center. Luke Schenkel with it, passing across. Puck passed ahead. Kornblum slap shot, gloved and held on to by Simonek. Shooting from the right wing boards. So now the penalties against Egley and Slocum are up, and they're finally released from the boxes. 12:25 to go. 4-1 Ravenwood lead, draws to the left of Simonek. Won by Ravenwood, and a slap shot from Luke Powell hit a skate and went over the net. Now Powell, right wing corner, passing it off, and a shot blockered away by Simonek. Puck out at center. Oh, Parker Triplett fell over trying to chase it. Owen Appel with the puck now for the Raptors. I'm still wondering if he had the primary assist on Jake Farrell's first period, the goal that made it 3-0, because if he did, the puck went out of play, by the way. That'd be Appel's first point of the season, which means that all Ravenwood skaters would now have a point. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Ravenwood bench. Puck out at center. Jack Reddy, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to pass over to Gavin Hussey, broken up by the stick of Easton Krensky. And Owen Gilroy cannot get around Krensky, who takes the puck off him. Passes across, but held in by Gilroy on the left wing side. Gilroy trying to get it in front. Gavin Hussey can't get a stick on it. Krensky pushing him up against the right wing corner boards. Now Hussey. Krensky getting the puck away from him again. Here's Parker Triplett trying to clear. And a pass across from Krensky to Slocum is deflected out of play into the scorekeeper area. 11:13 to go, still 4-1 Ravenwood. Draws in front of the Mount Juliet bench. Ravenwood with it inside the Mount Juliet zone. Here's Liam Powell, a shot from the slot, gloved and held on to by Simonik. Ray Balls now talking with Brant Balls. Might they do a goaltending switch here or no? Draw's going to be to the left of Simonik. One by Ravenwood, and a shot deflected over the net. Still in play, though. Anthony Giampaolo carries it out to center. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end. Wes Ray with it for the Bears. Banks it off the near boards. Ryan Woods carrying it back into the Ravenwood zone. Putting it behind the net. Actually took a shot and it went off a stick past the net. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Ryan Woods clears it out, but Owen Appel with it. He dumps it back in the Mount Juliet zone. Will Gallagher had to get back on side. So did Liam Powell. Puck out at center. Ravenwood controlling again. Luke Powell. Here's a chance for Ravenwood. Puck in front. Oh, knocked away. Kicked away by the right leg pad of Simonik, excuse me. Liam Powell trying to get off a very soft shot. Or he was trying to set somebody up. Oh, and puck dumped back in the Mount Juliet zone. Kicked off the back of the net. And Simonik having to cover it out of the crease. 9:15 to go. Still 4-1 Ravenwood. Draw to the right of Simonik. Ravenwood with it again. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. Zeke Landcamera with it for the Raptors. Backhanded pass is intercepted. Easton Krensky brought it back into the Ravenwood zone. Put it in front, but was broken up by Ravenwood. Carson Slocum knocked down at center. Puck slides back into the Ravenwood zone. Raptors bring it back out. And now here is Owen Gilroy. In the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Pushed away from the puck by Neelan Head. Now Jake Farrell. Tried to pass across, went off the stick of Cullen McDermott and out. And the puck is going to be iced from Owen Appel, who was just behind the red line at center. 8:08 to go, still 4-1. Ravenwood. Easton Krensky has been real aggressive on the forecheck tonight and the back check. Krensky playing just his second game of the year, initially elected to forego his senior year of hockey to focus on baseball because he's considered one of the top outfielding prospects in the state of Tennessee. But he decided to come back and play an abbreviated senior year of hockey. Ryan Woods got off a shot from the right point that was turned away by Ryan Farrell. Puck out on the far boards of the Ravenwood zone. Oh, and there's going to be a penalty. Hit on the far side. Jordan Antar taking a hit from... High stick. High sticking called against Kornblum. So Mount Juliet returned to the power play down 4-1. With 7:35 to go, draws to the right of Ryan Farrell. Draw one by Ravenwood. Puck carried behind the net by Liam Powell. I think he wanted to go and clear it out, but Parker Triplett with it from Mount Juliet, poked away from him. It goes back in the Mount Juliet zone, caught up to by Ryan Woods. Woods taking a few stick checks from Liam Powell. Now Braylon Cox with a puck for Mount Juliet. Passing across to Krensky. Easton Krensky in the Ravenwood zone. Taking a shot. Blockered up into the air by Ryan Farrell. Puck held into the left point. Ryan Woods now sit out in front. Jordan Antar shot. Score! Was poked away by Ryan Farrell, but Jordan Antar able to cash into the rebound up and got a Ravenwood player pushing and shoving with a couple of Mount Juliet players after the goal, but it's another power play goal for the Bears, and they're down 4-2 with 6:52 to go. Draw one by Mount Juliet. They get it into the Ravenwood zone. Here's Owen Gilroy, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot misses the net to the left of Robbie Simonek. Puck held in at the right point. One-timer from Luke Schenkel goes flying past the net to Simonek's left. Puck held just inside the zone by Gavin Hussey at the left point, but he gives it away to Braylon Cox. Cox out at center with it. Drops it back for Carson Slocum. Slocum dumps it back into the Ravenwood zone. He was just past the red line when he dumped it, so no icing. Puck put in front, off of Jordan Antar's stick, stopped and covered up by Farrell. 5:51 to go, still 4-2 Ravenwood, and Raptors draws to the right of Farrell. One by Ravenwood. Here come the Raptors. Liam Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot blockered over the net by Robbie Simonek. Here's Jake Farrell putting the puck out in front. Liam Powell tied up with Bobby Camos. Powell with it now. Passes it over, bottom of the right circle. A shot stopped and held on to by Simonek. That shot coming from Jake Farrell. 5:24 to go, still 4-2 Ravenwood. Draw one by Ravenwood, and a one-timer from the right point knocked down by Simonek. That came from Luke Powell. Here's Nealon Head into the Ravenwood zone. Puck knocked away from him. Now Liam Powell. Had it poked away from him right when he got to the Mount Juliet blue line. So they have to backtrack to get back on side. Nealon Head with the puck behind his own net. Leaves it for Tyler Dubois. Dubois passing to his right, and Ryan Woods, who goes across to Jackson Blevins. Blevins passing ahead, or trying to get it over to Nealon Head. Intercepted by Sutton Kornblum. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Kornblum right wing boards with a shot turned away. Actually, nope, Simonek has it. He hangs on for the whistle. 4:29 to go. Still 4-2 Ravenwood. Draw's going to be to Simonek's left. One by Krensky, or one by Mount Juliet. Krensky passing ahead to Antar. Now Parker Triplett takes a hit right at the Ravenwood blue line, and then he slashed the Ravenwood player who hit him. So they're going to get Triplett on the retaliation. It was Owen Appel, I think, who hit him. Ray Ball's now yelling at the official. So Ravenwood returning to the power play, down 4-2 with 4:09 to go.
Hey, we're down by 2. You kill the penalty, we still got a chance to win this game. Keep our head down.
I hope nobody does anything dumb, because John Williams, the GNASH president, is in attendance. Draw is going to be to the right of Robbie Simonek. Draw one by Ravenwood. Luke Schenkel passing over to the right wing side. Owen Appel, a shot. Oh, at the post to the left of Simonek. Puck put out in front again. Ryan Woods tries to clear. Knocked down to the blue line. Kept alive by Schenkel. Owen Appel at the right point. Passing over to Schenkel. Fumbles the puck a bit. Still has it and manages to get control of it and backhand it down deep. Krensky with it now for Mount Juliet. He's going to fire it to the other end of the rink. Waylon Cox watches Ryan Farrell send it around send it up the near side boards. And icing going to be called against the Raptors. 82 seconds left of their power play. 3:32 to go in the game. Still 4-2 Mount Juliet. Ravenwood. Draw is going to be to the left of Farrell. One by Mount Juliet. Shot missed the net from the blue line. That was Tyler Dubois taking the shot. Here's Luke Powell passing ahead to Gavin Hussey. Hussey passing over to Owen Gilroy. Gilroy's shot turned away by Robbie Simonek. Puck cleared out by Ryan Woods. Minute left in the power play for Ravenwood. It's actually on goal. Ryan Farrell having to make the save. Luke Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Stops. Backhands it up to the right point. Gavin Hussey over to Owen Gilroy. Gilroy, slap shot off the right leg pad of Simonek. Luke Powell, right wing corner. Putting the puck behind the net. Sutton Kornblum comes out in front. A shot turned away by Simonek. 30 seconds left in the power play for Ravenwood. Owen Gilroy left point. Passing down the wall to Kornblum. Kornblum, a shot stopped in on to by Simonek. 22 seconds left in the power play. 2:32 to go in the game. 4-2 Ravenwood. Draw to the right of Simonek. One by Ravenwood. Luke Powell fakes the slapper, passes off to little brother Liam. Back up top to Luke, who's having trouble with a puck. And Anthony Giampaolo gets a hold of it and brings it out to center. Backhands it back into the Ravenwood zone. Puck behind the Ravenwood net. Penalty time against Mount Juliet is up. They're back at even strength. Big battle for the puck on the far boards. Up, and we're going to have a penalty against Ravenwood. Cross-checking against which of the players who has number 7. It's Luke Powell. Mount Juliet are going to use their timeout here. 1:53 to go. They're going to be on the power play. Down 4-2. They got to score quick. The question is, will they be leaving the net empty when this timeout is over? By the way, like I said, Mount Juliet, in order to stay in the GNASH Cup race after tonight, they have to win this game. If they tie and Brentwood then beat Rutherford, that would knock Mount Juliet out. So Mount Juliet need 3 goals here in these next 1:53 seconds to win 5-4 and ensure they'll still be in the GNASH Cup hunt when January rolls around. Yes, they are going to leave the net empty. So the extra attacker out for Mount Juliet, making this essentially 6-on-4. Draw's going to be to the right of Ryan Farrell as we're ready to resume. Draw won by the Bears. Ryan Woods, left point, slap shot. Missed the net. Jordan Antar passing up to the right point. Carson Slocum. Braylon Cox. Passing over, Slocum, a shot, missed the net to the right of Farrell. Puck behind the net. Oh, and Jordan Antar rolled it up the back of the net, trying to pull off the Trevor Zegras. Here is Ryan Woods, left wing boards, passing across. Braylon Cox, right wing corner. Comes out right circle, shot over the net. The Mount Juliet bench thought that was going in the net. To be honest, I thought it was going in too. As Ravenwood cleared the puck down ice, picked up by Easton Krensky inside the Mount Juliet zone. Last minute of the game. Krensky. Back in the Ravenwood zone, left wing side. Tried to send it to the front of the net. It was knocked away by a Ravenwood stick. Raptors clear it out. Under a minute left of the power play now for Mount Juliet. As an empty net try is shot past the net by Luke Schenkel. Here's Ryan Woods. And given away to Schenkel. Puck cleared out by Ravenwood. 30 seconds left in the game. Under 30 seconds left of the power play now for Mount Juliet. Puck back in the Ravenwood zone. Easton Krensky. Comes out in front, a shot. I think it went off of Farrell. Puck out at the right point. Ryan Woods' shot blocked into the Ravenwood bench. 7.1 seconds left, so Ravenwood are going to hang on and win this one. Draw is going to be to the left of Ryan Farrell. Puck behind the Ravenwood net. Sutton Kornblum holding it up against the boards, and time's going to run out. And the Raptors, 8-1 in the GNASH Cup hunt, 2-0 in Phase 3 of the regular season as they beat Mount Juliet tonight, 4-2. Ravenwood jumped out to a 3-0 lead pretty much halfway into the first, and it looked like they were going to run off with this game, but Mount Juliet got better as the game went on. Unfortunately for the Bears, they could not catch all the way up, and they lose 4-2. So the Raptors win both games in the regular season against Mount Juliet 4-2. All right, I'm going to go look at the score sheet. Carson Slocum and Jordan Antar were the goal scorers for Ravenwood. I'm sorry, for Mount Juliet. And for Ravenwood, 2 goals from Liam Powell, and the other goals came from Gavin Hussey and Jake Farrell. And no, Owen Appel did not on the Jake Farrell goal. So he is still the only Ravenwood skater without a point this season. The Raptors win 4-2. Player of the game is going to be Liam Powell with his 2 goals. And another big win for the Raptors. And again, like I said just a few moments ago, they swept Mount Juliet in the regular season, winning both games by the same score, 4-2. But it looked like it was going to be a runaway early in the first when Ravenwood went up 3-0. They got one more goal after that, Mount Juliet, but not all the way. All right, so let's look at the Phase 3 standings with that game in the books. Ravenwood and Brentwood now both 2-0. Now Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon dropping to 2-2. Franklin BGA 1-1. Pope Prep CPA GCA and Father Ryan both 1-2. MBA and Rutherford both 0-1-1. And in Tier 2, Centennial and the Outlaws both 2-0. Nolensville, Ensworth, Lipscomb 1-0-1. Summit Page 1-1-1. USNBA Nashville Christian 1-1. Hendersonville Beach 1-2. Independence and Station Camp Liberty Creek both 0-2. Schedule for the rest of tonight. Going on right now over on Rink 2 in Bellevue, Station Camp Liberty Creek against Hendersonville Beach. 8:30, a game that should be underway by now over on Rink B here at Centennial. Brentwood against Rutherford, and coming up in a few minutes here on Rink A at Centennial, USNBA Nashville Christian taking on Independence. First night of play back is January 4th, and here is the schedule for that. It's a Wednesday, so the usual 4-game slate. 7:10 on Rink A here at Centennial. Pope Prep CPA GCA taking on Ravenwood. 8 o'clock on Rink 2 in Bellevue. MBA taking on Father Ryan. 8:30 over on Rink B. Centennial taking on Nolensville, Ensworth, Lipscomb. And at 8:40 here on Rink A, Summit Page taking on Station Camp Liberty Creek. The last time those two teams met, Summit Page won 12-5. There were 23 penalties total in the game. Summit had their head coach and 2 players suspended for the next game because they had more than 12 penalties. So that meant Greg Sowers had to sit out the next game. Aiden Gardner got 2 games. And who else got suspended from that game? Jacob Wagner. He got suspended too for a boarding major. So, yeah, I'm sure that GNASH will be hoping that Summit and Station Camp will be on their best behavior come January 4th. So that is it for us tonight. I want to thank you all for listening all this calendar year. We restarted last season back in middle of January. And we slugged our way through the rest of the regular season, slugged our way through the playoffs, did the All-Star game, and then parted ways for a few months, and then reunited in late September. And here we are, final night before Christmas break, and I can't believe we're already here. The season has flown by, and with way less games than we played last year, it's rocketing by. We're going to have 3.5 weeks left in the regular season when we come back from the holidays. And those 3 weeks are going to fly by, and it's going to be playoff time, and the playoffs are going to fly by, and then we're going to do the All-Star game, and then we're going to be done. Take nothing for granted, and I never take for granted your continued support. I thank you all for listening. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. And I hope that when we meet again in early January, your 2023 is off to a good start. Our final tonight, Ravenwood 4, Mount Juliet 2. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great holiday break. We'll be back in January to bring you the final few weeks of the 2022-2023 GNASH regular season. Stay tuned after the music for a special treat.